Ciao, buongiorno. Now what do you say? Now whether you've just met someone new or you're catching up with a friend or a family member, the first question you'll ask and answer is, how are you in Italian? In this lesson, you're going to learn 5 ways to ask how are you in Italian and 10 common phrases and expressions that the locals use to respond. Now to continue your learning and to help you practice, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which includes all the phrases and examples. You can find a link to that in the description below this video. Pronti? Ready? Cominciamo! Let's get started. Let's take a look at the 5 ways to ask how are you in Italian. The first phrase is
Come sta?
This means how are you? And this is a formal Italian greeting. Here we have the word come, meaning how, and sta from the verb stare, meaning to be, as in a state of being. So here we are literally asking, how is your state of being? How are you? The next phrase is
Come stai?
This also means how are you? And if you were paying attention, you might have noticed there is only 1 letter difference between this and the first example. That's right, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that this is the informal Italian version of come sta. It's come stai. The next phrase Italians use to ask how are you is
Come va?
How's it going? This is another informal Italian greeting. That va, you see, comes from the verb andare, meaning to go. Va means it goes. So here we are literally asking, how goes it or how it goes. The next way to ask how are you in Italian is with the phrase
Come vanno le cose?
How are things going or how are things? Now this is another informal Italian way to respond to how are you. Now as you can see here, this is also from the verb andare, meaning to go. Vanno means they go. This is the plural of it goes, which is va. So here we are literally asking, how goes things? The next phrase Italians use to ask how are you is with
Come te butta?
Now this is a little bit more slang and it basically translates to how are ya? Now this is very much an informal and an idiomatic way to ask in Italian, how are you? Now to learn more about Italian idioms, watch this video here. Now this particular expression comes from a dialect, which is the dialect which is spoken in Rome called Romanesco. If you want to learn more about Romanesco, watch this video here. Now what we're basically saying here is how are you? But literally we're actually asking how do you throw yourself? Now in standard Italian, you would either ask someone come va? How's it going? Or come stai? How are you? Or even come sta, the formal version. But in Romanesco, the verb buttare, meaning to throw, is used. So here what you're literally asking is, how are you throwing yourself? Come ti butta? If you're traveling to Rome and you need a few travel tips, make sure you watch my travel video here. Okay, now let's take a look at 10 common ways to reply to how are you or come sta, come stai in Italian, starting with
Sto bene.
This means I'm well, and it can be both a formal and an informal response. Sto also comes from the verb stare, which we saw earlier, meaning to be, meaning I stay or I am, as in my state of being is. And when we add bene, that bene means well. So quite literally here we're saying I stay well or I'm well. The next way that you can respond to how are you in Italian is with the phrase
Molto bene, grazie.
Very well, thanks. So earlier we saw that bene means well, but if you're very well, all you need to do is add the word molto, which means very or a lot. So molto bene, grazie. Very well, thank you. Another phrase Italians use is
Abbastanza bene, grazie.
This means quite well, thanks. If you're quite well, use the word abbastanza, which on its own means enough or sufficient. If things aren't amazing, you can say
Non c'è male.
Not bad. Now if things aren't amazing, you can respond in a bit more neutral way with non c'è male, which literally means, according to the word order, no, there is bad, or there is no bad. Basically, not bad. The next phrase is
Va tutto bene.
Everything's going well. Now this is another informal and informal way to respond to the question of how are you in Italian. A step up from va bene is va tutto bene. Everything's going well. Tutto means everything. The next phrase is
Benissimo.
This means great or very well. Instead of saying molto bene, a step up from that is if you use the suffix issimo, which means very. And you can hook this onto the end of the word bene, and then it becomes very well or great. That issimo that you see, you might have heard before in words like bellissimo or bellissima. The next phrase Italians use is
Va benissimo.
Things are going great. Another option is to add va from the verb andare. Here it means it goes. And you can put this in front of benissimo to say that things are going well. The next phrase is
Così così.
If you're not doing the best, you can try something a bit more neutral and downplay things with così così, meaning so-so. So it's neither great nor good. Now, if you say così once, you're actually saying like this way or like that way. And this is one of the versatile words in Italian that you should know and remember how to use. The next phrase is
Non mi posso lamentare.
I can't complain. Posso comes from the verb potere, meaning to be able to. Here, posso means I can. Non means don't or can't. And lamentare is a verb which means to complain or to lament. Here we see it in its reflexive form, where we're reflecting it back on oneself, to complain. Here, what we're literally saying is, I can't myself complain, or I can't complain. To learn more about the most common Italian verbs that you should know, watch this video here. Another phrase that Italians use to respond to the question, how are you, is with
Alla grande.
great, amazing. Now this is another informal expression from the Roman dialect Romanesco. Now an equally Roman and positive response to the Roman
Come te butta?
is
Alla grande.
meaning awesome, literally in a big way. Alla means to the and grande means great or big. So now you know all the ways to ask how are you in Italian and how to reply. And to keep practicing, make sure you download your free cheat sheet, which I've linked to in the description below this video. To make sure you never miss a future lesson, hit the subscribe button and turn on those notifications. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. Just visit intrepiditalian.com for more details. And make sure you watch this video here to brush up on the most essential Italian travel phrases. And watch this video here to learn how to say you're welcome in Italian like a native. Until next time, thanks for watching. Un abbraccio. Ciao!